Welcome to another episode of The Middle-Aged Metalhead. So today I'm going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite bands, probably in my top 10 bands ever, and that's Canada's Voivod. They started back in the 80s as a sort of punk metal hybrid, and a bunch of punks who were obsessed with Motorhead and Venom, and the first couple of albums pretty much reflected that. But with their third album, Killing Technology, they kind of moved into a more progressive area, I would say. And over the years, through the 80s and most of the 90s, they released some of the most challenging heavy music ever, right? And today I'd like to specifically talk about their album from 1993, The Outer Limits. Now, the album, when it was officially released, it was pretty much at the end of the vinyl phase, so it had a very limited vinyl release, I think mainly in Europe. But a few months ago, Real Gone Music announced that they would be reissuing The Outer Limits, again on a very limited 1,500 numbered copies, and on blue and black vinyl, colored vinyl this time. And yeah, the fans pretty much went crazy. I know I went crazy. Normally with any reissue, I take a long time, read up on reviews on Discogs, make sure that it's worth buying before I actually pull the trigger. But this was one of those rare occasions where I actually pre-ordered something, which I almost never do. And yeah, so it finally arrived a couple of weeks ago. But what happened was that pretty much a few minutes after the pre-order, I realized that the album was 55 minutes long and it was going to be a single LP release. So normally an album of that length would be split into two LPs. And then I looked up the Discogs reviews as I was waiting for it to come through, and there were quite a few complaints about a lot of static and noise, and also the fact that it was a digital master, obviously, and there was a problem with the mastering. So there was some sort of additional digital noise on the song Jack Luminous. So yeah, I was like, do I wait? Do I cancel the order, pre-order? Do I wait for it to come? Because yeah, obviously once it comes, returning it isn't an option, and it's just too much of a bloody hassle. But I waited anyway, and a couple of weeks ago, it finally arrived. Voivod, The Outer Limits, fantastic album musically, probably Voivod at their most adventurous at that time. It was kind of like an amalgamation of Nothing Face and Angel Rat. It had moments of almost accessible alt rock kind of sensibilities, and at the same time it had typical Voivod, you know. They've always challenged you with their music and with their songwriting structures and with their musical sensibilities. And well, this is just a fantastic album. I mean, if you don't know Voivod, why are you not aware of them? And if you do know Voivod, well, you know what Outer Limits sounds like, and you know whether you love it or hate it. There's very little middle ground with this band. But firstly, so here's the inner sleeve that it comes in, that the record comes in, and the inner sleeve was mainly the cause for most of the static. So it gave the record a good clean, and yeah, it's dead quiet. There's absolutely no static noise or anything like that. But yeah, if you are getting the LP, you're better off cleaning it before playing it. And this is what the blue with black swirls looks like. Nice looking LP. And to be honest, with the whole digital artifact and whatever noise that's supposed to be on Jack Luminous, the song, I had to play the song about 3 times before I finally figured out what the audio files were complaining about. So maybe my setup isn't good enough to catch all of these tiny little imperfections. But yeah, there is a bit of a, I guess, sort of sounds like a CD that's skipping for maybe about 2 or 3 seconds at the most. At least my ears didn't pick up anything more than that. and you're better off transferring it into a separate inner sleeve as well, and leaving the printed inner sleeve out. But yeah, this is the record again, and for a 55-minute album on a single LP, it sounds pretty great. Maybe the volume's a little low, but overall, once you're playing it at a reasonable volume, it sounds really, really good. And overall, I'm glad I went for this. I mean, there isn't really much that I can complain about. The couple of seconds of noise on Jack Luminous notwithstanding, and overall, I am very, very happy with this. Now, Real Gone Music has also announced that they're going to be doing another run, hopefully not as limited, and this time on red and black swirl, sometime in September, I think. And this is going to have the corrected master, so they're going to be eliminating the noise on Jack Luminous as well. So that should be something worth looking out for. Will I be getting another copy of this? I don't know. Maybe. If it's not too limited and it's not too expensive, then yeah, maybe, because it is such a fantastic album. But for now and for today, this is basically what I wanted to talk about. Voivod, The Outer Limits, finally a nice vinyl reissue. In spite of all the so-called blemishes and whatever else, I was really happy that I got this. And yeah, check it out. It's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify, it's streaming everywhere. The 1993 album from Voivod, The Outer Limits. And if you like what you saw today, make sure that you subscribe, like the video, ring the bell icon for notifications. And we've still got a pandemic here, raging away, second wave. And so stay at home, stay safe, and stay metal.